Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cassidy. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my videos. Today we're doing a fun video I did last year that I wanted to bring back this year, even though as I was prepping for it, I'm like, holy crap, this video is a lot of work. But we're going to go over every single book I read this year. I'm going to hold the book up and tell you the rating, or I'll pop the cover up, just depending on whether I own the book or not anymore. And that's it. You just have an idea of everything I read this year. The first book is Dragonhaven by Robin Hobb, which I gave 5 stars. Then we have Half a King by Joe Abercrombie, which I gave 4 stars. Then we have A Seance in Apartment 10 by Ambrose Ibsen, which I gave 1 star. Then we have Verity by Colleen Hoover, which I gave 1 star. Then we have Memory of Souls by Jen Lyons, which I gave 4 stars. Then we have The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, which I gave 3 stars. Then we have Near the Bone by Christina Henry, which I gave 5 stars. We have Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna McGuire, which I gave 4 stars. We have Beneath the Sugar Sky, which I gave 3 stars. In an Absent Dream, which I gave 3 stars. Come Tumbling Down, which I gave 4 stars. Across the Green Grass Fields, which I gave 3 stars. And Where the Drowned Girls Go, which I gave 4 stars, all by Shauna McGuire. We have Falling Kingdoms by Margaret Rhodes, which I gave 2 stars. We have Master of Sorrows by Justin T. Call, which I gave 3 stars. Then we have Malice by John Gwynne, which I gave 4 stars. We have Saga Volume 2, which I gave 4 stars. The Inadequate Heir by Daniel L. Jensen, which I gave 4 stars. The Bear and the Nightingale and The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden, which I gave both 3 stars. Saga Volume 3, which I gave 3 stars. The Deep by River Solomon, that I gave 2 stars. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, that I gave 4 stars. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Polini, which I gave 3 stars. Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon, which I gave 2 stars. Desperate Measures by Katie Roberts, which I gave 1 star. The Bone Chips by R.J. Barker, which I gave 3 stars. Guild by Raven Kennedy, which I gave 3 stars. The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed, which I gave 3 stars. Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill, which I gave 3 stars. Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson, which I gave 4 stars. The Swordsman's Lament by G.M. White, which I gave 4 stars. Call of the Bone Chips by R.J. Barker, which I gave 3 stars. The Storm of Echoes by Christelle DeBeau, which I gave 2 stars. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, which I gave 3 stars. The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert, which I gave 2 stars. Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab, which I gave 3 stars. The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, which I gave 2 stars. The Fall by Ryan Cahill, which I gave 5 stars. Bromance Book Club, which I gave 2 stars. Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, which I gave 4 stars. Lock and Key Volume 1 by Joe Hill, which I gave 4 stars. Skyward Volume 1 by Joe Henderson, which I gave 3 stars. Sour Candy by Keelan Patrick Burke, which I gave 3 stars. King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, which I gave 3 stars. Lock and Key Volume 2, 3, and 4, which I gave all 4 stars by Joe Hill. Slimer by Harry Adam Knight, which I gave 4 stars. The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkoff, which I gave 3 stars. Comfort Me in Apples by Catherine M. Valente, which I gave 2 stars. There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, which I gave 5 stars. Glint by Raven Kennedy, which I gave 2 stars. There Is No Devil by Sophie Lark, which I gave 1 star. The Citron Key by Ella McRae, which I gave 3 stars. The Risk and Sidetracked by St. Abbey, which I gave 3 stars. And then Scarlet Angel and All the Lies by St. Abbey, which I gave 4 stars each. The Bone Chips Wake by R.J. Barker, which I gave 1 star. Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter, which I gave 5 stars. Paint It Red by St. Abbey, which I gave 1 star. Brutal Prince, which I gave 4 stars by Sophie Lark. Stolen Air by Sophie Lark, I gave 2 stars. Savage Lover by Sophie Lark, I gave 3 stars. Twisted Heathens by J. Rose, which I gave 2 stars. Into the Dark by Dana Isley, which I gave 4 stars. Creature Cafe 1 by Cleo Evans, which I gave 3 stars. Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton, which I gave 4 stars. The Soul's Aspect by Mark Holloway, which I gave 3 stars. A King's Radiance by L.R. Schultz, which I gave 4 stars. Nomads of the Sea by Kobe Zucker, which I gave 4 stars. Jade City by Fonda Lee, which I gave 4 stars. The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart, which I gave 2 stars. Rise of a Sky Pirate by Ella McRae, which I gave 3 stars. City of Dusk by Tara Sim, which I gave 1 star. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, which I gave 1 star. The Sword of Kaigan by Emma Wong, which I gave 3 stars. Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey, which I gave 5 stars. Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, which I gave 3 stars. Ashes of the Sun and Blood of the Chosen by Django Wexler, which I gave both 4 stars. The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, which I gave 5 stars. My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing, which I gave 3 stars. Aragon by Christopher Polini, which I gave 3 stars. Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer, which I gave 2 stars. Daughter of Redwinter by Ed McDonald, which I gave 4 stars. The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams, which I gave 4 stars. The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, which I gave 3 stars. Babel by R.F. Kuang, which I gave 1 star. City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, that I gave 3 stars. Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, which I gave 2 stars. City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, which I gave 3 stars. The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison, which I gave 2 stars. Clown in a Cornfield 2 by Adam Cesar, which I gave 4 stars. Sabriel by Garth Nix, which I gave 2 stars. The Poison Song by Jen Williams, which I gave 3 stars. Voice of War by Zach Argyle, which I gave 2 stars. A Touch of Light by Thiago Abdallah, which I gave 5 stars. Winds of Strife by Yuji Gutman, which I gave 4 stars. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, which I gave 3 stars. Blackstone Heart by Michael R. Fletcher, which I gave 3 stars. Carmilla, which I gave 2 stars. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, which I gave 4 stars. The Cavern by Alistair Hodge, which I gave 3 stars. Carrowhunt by Darcy Coates, which I gave 3 stars. From Below by Darcy Coates, which I gave 4 stars. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins, which I gave 3 stars. The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, which I gave 1 star. Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates, which I gave 5 stars. Stones of Light by Zach Argyle, which I gave 2 stars. Rolling in the Deep by Mira Grant, which I gave 4 stars. Mary by Nat Cassidy, which I gave 3 stars. The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward, which I gave 2 stars. Jade War by Fonda Lee, which I gave 3 stars. Craven Manor by Darcy Coates, which I gave 3 stars. Upgrade by Blake Crouch, which I gave 2 stars. Hunted by Darcy Coates, and Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates, which I gave both 4 stars. Valor by John Gwynn, which I gave 4 stars. Emperor of Rune by Django Wexler, which I gave 4 stars. The Fullcroft Ghost by Darcy Coates, which I gave 4 stars. The Umbral Storm by Alec Hudson, which I gave 4 stars. What a spread of 4-star reads there. Scales and Sensibilities by Stephanie Burgess, which I gave 3 stars. Tethered Spirits by T.A. Hernandez, which I gave 3 stars. Song for the Void by Andrew C. Piazza, which I gave 1 star. Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater, which I gave 3 stars. The 13th Hour by Trudy Skies, which I gave 2 stars. Mysterious Ways by Abby Evans, which I gave 2 stars. Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons by Quimby Olsen, which I gave 3 stars. And I forgot one earlier, but The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James, which I gave 2 stars, but I read that all the way up in May. Editing Cassidy here. I also read The Kraken Sacrifice, which I gave 2 stars. And there you have it. Those are the 131 books that I read this year, and all the ratings I gave them. Cheers to having more ratings next year that we like and want and love. So thank you so much for watching my video, for watching my content. I hope we all have great reading years next year. I definitely do give out a lot of 4s and 3s, but I'm okay with that. A 3 is a good read for me. I like a 3. Anything better than a 3 is great. 3s and higher are great for me. And then obviously I want more 5 stars though. I like the 4s and the 5s. Let me know down below a book on this list that shocked you. And then if you aren't feeling chatty but you want to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a sushi emoji. I know there's a sushi emoji. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon, all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.